I'm Mary Beth Cornwell, and this is the story of my life. In 2010, I had a terrible accident. One afternoon, my motorcycle slid off the road, and I was thrown off, and my leg hit a rock wall in the national park and split my leg in half. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to keep my leg, so I prayed. And God gave me this message that living with a prosthetic, it was going to be a better quality of life than if I had to live with a leg that did not work as well. It was pretty traumatic to lose a limb. It's a part of your body. I had to spend a week in a rehab center. That's probably the hardest part of losing a limb, is just you don't know how your life's going to be the same again. Since I was teaching for 20 years before my accident, of course I went right back to the classroom. I needed the kids to help me get through my recovery because they're just so positive and they know how to overcome. When I returned in the fall of that year, my leg was not healed. It was still just a stump, and I had to wear a protector on it and go to school in my wheelchair. And I taught my classes that way. That December, I got the prosthetic. I put the prosthetic on. Every student in our school came out into the hallways, and all the teachers, and I walked down the hall and everybody clapped. It was just like everybody was celebrating that life could go on. After my accident, I wanted to get back to doing the activities that I did before my accident. I was fortunate to work with Patricia Neal Rehab Center in Knoxville. They got me in touch with an adaptive ski program. I met some phenomenal people, and they had to work with me on how to ski again, using outriggers for balance, adjusting my boots, and making sure that all my equipment was taken care of. It was very scary, but it was a huge accomplishment to even get back on the snow again. After skiing, my next objective was to start running again. At first, they said I probably wouldn't run again, ever, but I was just kind of waiting to see where that went. One of my favorite sayings is, that voice in my head keeps telling me I can't do that, and I say to myself, it's a liar. My prosthetic people were able to get me a running leg, and I got back into doing different races. My next goal was to start back into the water with strength and with the therapist. I swam straight, and I started swimming laps, and then that next summer, I started teaching swim lessons again. My prosthetic company made me a leg out of parts that they had left from pieces of prosthetics we had gone through, and it was waterproof, and I have continued to teach swimming every summer, and the kids just know me as the robot teacher. My husband and I started hiking again. It was kind of another thing to do. The prosthetic that I got allowed us to get back into the national park system. We got a camper, started camping again, and taken some pretty good hikes. Riding a bike was a little bit different, but I was able to have them cut the back of my prosthetic down to where I could bend my leg enough to ride a bike. But we took a big bike trip this summer out in Idaho and Montana, and we rode about 15 miles. So it was a huge accomplishment to do that. About 3 years after my accident, I wrote a book, and the book was inspired by my daughter. She really had a hard time accepting my difference, and I would make jokes about it all the time, like, you can call me Stumpy, that's okay. I still knew that she was struggling. So I wrote the book to inspire kids everywhere that even though your mom is different, she's still your mom. When I go to the store, or I'm wearing an outfit where you can see the metal leg, I use it as an educational experience. The kids will stare and they'll come up really close, and then I can use that opportunity and say, it's a robot leg. I'll also say it's called a prosthetic, so they can hear that term and become comfortable with it. I've had them ask questions, and I think the funniest question is, what did the doctor do with your leg when he cut it off? And of course I'm just laughing, and the parents are turning red. In the summer, I usually do my toenails, and the little girls want to come and see what color the nails are. Once they realize that you're comfortable with it, it's no big thing. Hopefully I can educate and make people feel comfortable about people that are different and have prosthetics. God only gives us what we can handle, and God picks certain people for certain roles. So to me, losing my leg is a new ministry. I feel blessed every single day.